Hello guys, welcome back to Chasing Infinity. This is Adarsh and welcome to my series on building actions for Google Assistant. So in this series, I'll show you how you can build your own actions and how you can deploy it to your Google Assistant so that it's available across all the devices that run Google Assistant. So before we start, let's think why you might want to create actions, right? Why do you want to create these voice apps? So let's answer that question. Why voice? You might have seen that video where the Google Assistant makes a call and it sounds exactly like a human. So people have started using the Google Assistant or the Amazon Alexa on a daily basis now, and it is estimated that by 2020, 30% of all web browsing sessions will be done without a screen. Voice is far more convenient and faster to get things done, and we have the technology for that now, right? We have the technology to understand voice commands and perform actions based on it. And so it's up to us now to come up with innovative apps on the voice platforms. So if you would like to know more about why voice is the future, there's this video by the famous entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk on why voice will win, and watch it if you want to understand more on this and why voice is so important and how it could take over the future. So first of all, what is an action? Actions are basically apps on the Google Assistant. It lets users get things done through a conversational interface, like a quick command to turn on some lights, or maybe do a Google search, or add a calendar entry, or maybe longer conversations such as playing a trivia game. So for building and deploying your first action on Google, Google might send you a t-shirt, and they will also give you $200 of cloud credit for 1 month, so that's huge. So in this first video, I am going to give you an introduction to actions on Google and a few key terms that you'll come across a lot and you need to be aware of. And I'll also briefly explain what happens during a conversation and how Google can recognize what you say and how it performs the actions, right? So what exactly is an action? So an action is an entry point to an interaction or app that you build for the assistant. Okay, so users can invoke your action by typing or speaking to the assistant. So for example, saying, hey Google, talk to random words will invoke the action random words and you will be in a conversation with that particular action, right? So an action is an entry point into your voice app. Okay, so the next term you need to be familiar with is an intent. Okay, so an intent is a goal or a task that the user wants to do, like maybe ordering coffee or setting a timer. In actions on Google, this is represented as a unique identifier with the corresponding user utterances that can trigger the intent, right? So uh, let's say I have an intent called order coffee. So when I say, okay, Google, I want to order a coffee, Google will invoke that particular intent and follow the steps that we have defined for that intent. Now let's see what exactly happens during a conversation. Okay, so actions are run entirely in the cloud, and every action supports a specific intent and has a corresponding fulfillment that processes the intent. So the user's device sends the user's utterances to the Google Assistant, which routes it to your fulfillment service via HTTP post requests, right? Your fulfillment service is the code essentially that will process your request and send back a response. So yeah, your fulfillment figures out a relevant response and sends that back to the system, which ultimately returns it to the user. So we'll be using Dialogflow to build actions. Okay, so Dialogflow is a web-based service provided by Google that uses an agent to process user input. The service allows you to integrate conversational apps with your assistant as well as other conversational platforms. So Dialogflow basically simplifies the task of understanding user input, extracting keywords and phrases from the input and returning responses using a method called natural language understanding. or NLU. So you can define how this all works within your Dialogflow agent. Okay, so before you start building your action, you need to enable a few permissions. For that, go to your activity controls page, and you need to make sure that your web and app activity is checked, and you have enabled your voice and audio activity, and also the device and information, right? So if these three things are enabled, then you are good to go. So now let's go to the actions console. Okay, if you're in this page, you can click here, or you can just go to this URL console.actions.google.com, click on add or import project, and enter the name. So let's say my first. Okay, now click on create project, and also remember the name that you entered right now will be only for your reference. People won't be seeing this name. You can enter an external name for the people to see it later, so don't worry about it, and you can just skip this page for now. Now in this page, click on build your action and click on add actions and add your first action. Okay, now here you choose custom intent and click on build and choose an account. Now this will take you to Dialogflow, so choose your account that you want to use Dialogflow with and allow all this. Okay, country India, email, no, agree to the terms of service. So this is a Dialogflow console, and we'll be creating actions here. Okay, so clicking on create agent will create a new Dialogflow agent that will process the user input and send back responses, right, like we talked about in the beginning. So yeah, that's it. Your first action is created, and I will show you how you can create a new agent and create intents and have a conversation with the user in the next video. So you can check out the written version of my tutorial on GitHub and also on Medium. So I'll leave the links in the description. Check it out if you prefer that. So if you learned something new from this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more such videos. And I'll see you in the next video.